It's Pondarosa Miss out wide. Vespa's giving plenty. Look at Cowie start to eat up the ground. Pondarosa Miss in front from Vespa. Cowie is flying along the inside. Pondarosa Miss and Daniel Hayne. Oh, gee, this is close.
Sentimental favourite Pondarosa Miss takes out the last Group 1 of the season, the Manco Easter Handicap there at Ellerslie on Saturday. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Weigh In, the last show of our current season. All the team are here, including Butch Castles. And Butch, what a great result, a dream result, wasn't it, for Peter Hollinshead and Daniel Hayne? Good evening.
Yeah, it was. Good evening. Look, I'm not sure that I've ever seen someone so widely appreciated as he went back to the jockey's room. Daniel Hayne, they all were just so thrilled for him. And Danielle Johnson, she said, that's a bloody fairy tale, and give him a slap on the back of congratulations. It was a great result.
Sure was. Twiggy's here, and 9 races at Hastings on the weekend, and I think Rosie got most of them, didn't she? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, DA. Over 50%, so super effort from Rosie. 5 winners on the day. All
right, looking forward to reviewing those 2 meetings and Riccarton as well with Mark Mack. He'll be with us very shortly. If you'd like to contact us during the show, you can via our social media channels, facebook.com/weighinshow, at weighinshow on Twitter, or you can email us as well, weighin@nzracingboard.co.nz. Now, before we begin our review of the weekend racing, we'd like to touch on Butch, the sad passing of Philip Vella on Saturday.
Yeah, very sad news coming through on Saturday that Philip had passed away. Of course, he was a huge man in stature and standing in the New Zealand racing and business community, and he will be sorely missed. Of course, along with his brother Sir Peter, one of their great achievements was the rescuing, if you like, of Wrightson Bloodstock and turning it, renaming it New Zealand Bloodstock, and turning it into the dedicated horse operation that it is today. It's a family business. Of course, a couple of the children of Sir Peter's involved in the running of it, but Philip instrumental with Peter in turning it around and carrying it on in New Zealand ownership, which was so very important. Of course, remember Romany Conti winning a Hong Kong Cup, and look, I think it's just personified Philip when we'll see in the presentation very shortly what he does with that cup. But that was a massive achievement to send her up there. Of course, Laurie Laxon doing the training, and I know a very special day, and we'll see, as I say, Philip pick this trophy up, and gee, it's a big trophy as well. There he is, and that I think just personifies the man of what he was able to achieve on that day.
Yes, and let's not forget about the great Mary Furiel also, Butch. You know, she was able to win a Caulfield Melbourne Cup. She also won a BMW at Weight for Age and a Queensland Oaks. So, and both Philip and Peter raced her together, also with their great friend Laurie Laxon. So she was a great mare and certainly done New Zealand proud, and his legacy will live on.
Yeah, it sure will, and as I say, Philip will be sorely missed by his wife Lynn, the children and grandchildren, and many of his friends throughout the world.
Certainly.
And our thoughts are obviously with the family at this time. Now, Philip will be farewelled on Friday morning at a Requiem Mass at 10 a.m. in Hamilton, and this will be followed by a private burial. Okay, on to our review of the weekend. Race number 9 at Ellerslie, the Group 1 feature. The favourite was Vespa, but it was Pondarosa Miss that scored down the very outside of the track, Butch.
Yeah, it was. Gee, give it a gorgeous ride, Daniel Hayne. He was in the right part. He was positive on the mare. Look, we saw her, we reviewed her last time out of that Tiaraha race when everyone was wanting the fairy tale to happen for Noel Harris. This time he planted her a lot closer to the speed, he got her to the right part of the track, and then it was a matter of her being the good horse that she is and able to withstand the challenge of the lightweight and Vespa and Kawi, who had to go late. Look, she's been there and thereabouts at Group 1 level all season, and she got the deserved one, Twiggy.
Just a great story, isn't it? Great story, both for the Hollinshead, the horse as well. You know, she came to what was a near-death accident after Hastings, and also for Daniel Hayne. He's given her a peach of a ride, and he has done every time he's ridden her. So just a great story, a really good story. And Noel Harris, he timed his run wrong for once.
Yeah, he did, but he was. It was great to see him there, and he's taken to that new role, Noel, with the apprentices. He was there on Saturday. He had his highlighters. He was highlighting all the rides the apprentices had, and yes, he did pull out too early, if you like, for want of a better term. But he was genuinely thrilled for Daniel Hayne that he was able to get that Group 1. Because as he said, a lot of good riders finish a career without a Group 1, but Daniel now has one.
For sure. He got her out in the right part of the track, and Vespa was very brave in defeat. I just wondered if you could look for anything to be critical about. I wonder if Mark Duplessis might have come outside LA Eagle at the top of the straight rather than ducking to the inside, whether that might have been a difference in winning or losing of the race. But I am critical, of course. I thought Kawi was outstanding. He was off the bridle a long way from home and made good ground in the worst part of the track.
I thought Coe was, of the beaten brigade, he was outstanding. And I thought Monty Solomon made up a good stack of ground, Butch, over the concluding stages.
Yeah, of course he was, Twiggy. He was outstanding, wasn't he? He was near freakish. Look, yes, Coe was very, very good. And I'm sure that Alan can go to the paddock with him now and really aim up at the spring. The second horse, Vespa, ran out a strong mile on a rain-affected track. So, gee, on a good track, he's going to be no problem at all at a mile, is he?
No, not at all.
And the winner she was outstanding.
Well, she was good. I wonder whether, it's been a very unorthodox preparation for her, and I wonder whether the running the 2 miles earlier on in the season has held her in good stead for a heavy track on a mile at Ellerslie, So
yeah, look, she had that residual fitness, didn't she?
For sure.
I suppose the first 3 over the line were well into their preparations when you consider it. Cowie been up for a long time. Vespa had
that was his
fourth run back, and this mare had that foundation of the, as you say, Auckland Cup placing. She then run subsequent to that at Te Araha. So the way it transpired Saturday with the rain, yes, those horses that were well into their preps were advantaged.
For sure.
Look, the story around this mare is just phenomenal. You go back to the 30th of August in this fall, when she sustained a rather major injury. So did the jockey, who was out for about 6 months with a ligament problem in his hand. But for the horse to recover and be able to race again, and for the rider 6 months later to be on this particular horse to get a Group 1, it's just a phenomenal story.
Well, it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It is a fairy tale. Look, the reports that were coming out of Hastings at first that day were that firstly they were going to be flat saving her, and second, and they were going to save her for a career off the racecourse.
Sure.
Then news filtered through that, gee, these vets had done this thing and put her nasal cavity back together, and maybe she was going to race. Then we got her to the racecourse and bang, she won, and then she's running in Group 1 race. Quite incredible.
Yeah, and Noel Harris took over the reins, and then Noel stepped down, and Daniel's got the right. It's almost a Dominic Tourneur Alco Pop story, isn't it?
It's a script. If you were writing a story, you'd think, well, what do we do? We'll have an injury just to get people in. And
exactly.
We'll have the jockey that doesn't get many rides. We'll get him hurt. And then we'll get the old boy on that does a great job.
Yeah.
And it's just got everything.
Yeah.
It's got a Group 1 finish, which is amazing.
Yeah,
it is.
Congratulations to all.
We did invite connections of Pondarosa Miss to come on the program today, but unfortunately they weren't able to make it. It'll be interesting, won't it, to see what she does in the spring, whether they campaign her across the Tasman or what they do. It'll be interesting.
It will be interesting. Look, she's an extremely valuable broodmare in the future now. She's got that Group 1 win, but you would think that the logical path is the spring at Hastings to start with. Gee, they might want to go back there after last time. But in saying all of that, then it opens up so many opportunities. The Melbourne Cup, why not? She's run third in an Auckland Cup. Been well documented that she wasn't right. Everyone, they've said that the Thorndon, she wasn't right. She was coming right. She's still run third, runs out 2 miles. She's now a Group 1 winner. Hey, why wouldn't you live the dream?
Yeah, why not? Why not? And she's only the second female Group 1 winner for High Chaparral.
Okay.
Fenway was the first one 2 weeks ago, winning the Vinery.
Yeah.
So he's had 35 Group 1 winners, all males, and now two mares.
Big group of owners in Pondarosa Miss as well. Big congratulations to them, to Pete and to Daniel as well. You're with Weigh In. We're back with a whole lot more after this.
Didn't find yourself an English man?
No, well, I was just trying to find Harry, old Harry, whatever his little Prince Harry, but...
Whatever his last name is.
Probably
should learn his last name and you're trying to look up on him.
Have to look at the phone book with the first name, isn't it?
I went on Tinder and found him, but he replied a couple of times and messaged, but he just didn't want to meet up with me.
Here's a minder on the right, like supposed to be looking after the cup. That night at the pub, we went to this pub and I saw the cup. Everybody had it. And they were all drinking out of the cup, slurping in the cup. And I said, do you want a drink? I said, no, thank you.
Not now.
No.
So hopefully her international career might be just taking off, and
And
Denise
Rory's as well?
Yeah.
Rory, will he go with her?
Rory, well, he's strapper, he's jockey, he'll be owner's manager. Rory's everything. We just got to share everything. Rory.
I'll take your share. I'll have your share, not Rory's share, all right?
But,
You were a little bit unruly, weren't you?
I was,
Like,
yeah.
He's not Robinson Crusoe there.
No, hey, I still am. That's my. But he's growing up. I haven't.